Why do countries go to war? Is it all just about land? We tend to think of wars as massive, complex events, but at their root, there are usually 5 basic reasons why nations go to war. Let's break it down simply. 5 reasons why wars start. 1. Territory. When we think of wars over land, we often imagine medieval lords fighting over fields and farmlands. But today, control over territory still sparks many conflicts. Imagine if someone moved your desk away from your favorite spot in the classroom, you might feel angry and territorial. Well, the same goes for countries. They fight over land for many reasons. Sometimes a country wants to expand its borders to get more resources or influence. Other times, a country may go to war to take back land it lost in a previous conflict. For example, after World War II, many countries in Europe had lost territory. This led to several smaller wars over the next few decades. Fast forward to today, and resources like oil, water, and rare minerals are super valuable. Nations that control these goodies hold a lot of power and wealth, but not everyone has the same share. Some countries are rich in resources, while others are just scraping by, which can spark tension and conflict. Countries with valuable resources often become targets, and smaller nations can get caught in the middle of power struggles between bigger players. Remember the Cold War? The US and the Soviet Union were battling for influence, and smaller countries had to pick sides, leading to conflicts. Even now, fights over oil and water are on the rise, and as demand for rare minerals grows, we can expect even more clashes over resources in the future. Take Jerusalem's Al-Aqsa Mosque or the city of Arbil, for instance. Conflicts over these sites are ongoing, and some have been simmering for centuries. The Israeli-Palestinian situation is a prime example of this instability. And then there's the long-standing border dispute between China and India, which has led to some serious clashes. 2. Resources. Picture this. It's the year 1914. European powers were fighting over colonies in Africa. At the time, colonies were a source of wealth and power. The more colonies you had, the more resources you controlled. Germany wanted to join the party, too. But the other powers had already divided up the continent, so Germany started looking elsewhere. That's when it set its sights on Belgium, a small country between France and the Netherlands. Germany thought that Belgium would be a great place to set up a colony. The Belgians didn't agree, though. They didn't want to be ruled by a foreign power. So when Germany declared war on them, they fought back. 3. Politics and power. Imagine you're at a party and someone keeps talking over you and not letting you speak. You might feel angry and frustrated. Well, that's how countries feel when they don't have a say in important decisions. A big reason why countries go to war is because they want to have a say in how things are run. Sometimes this is about having a voice in their own country's government. Other times it's about having a say in the governments of other countries. For example, in the early 1900s, many countries in Central and South America had governments that were run by dictators. These dictators often worked closely with the United States. This made the people in these countries angry. They wanted their countries back. Over time, this led to revolutions in several countries. In Cuba, for example, the people overthrew their dictator and set up a new government. Of course, we can't forget about those who desire more power on the world stage. For example, during the Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union competed against each other for power. This competition led to a lot of tension and mistrust. Each side wanted to spread its influence and power around the world. This meant that even small conflicts could quickly turn into a bigger problem. And when one side got too powerful, the other side often felt threatened. This led to a lot of fighting and conflict. For religion and culture, now let's talk about something a little bit more complicated. Sometimes countries go to war because of differences in religion, culture, or ethnicity. This can happen when one group tries to force its beliefs on another group. It can also happen when different groups compete for power. For example, in the former Yugoslavia, there were several different ethnic groups living together. These groups had been living together for centuries, but in the 1990s, they started fighting. This led to one of the worst wars in modern history. In the Congo, different ethnic groups have been fighting over land and power for years. This has led to a lot of death and destruction. In Syria, the conflict has been going on for years. It's a mix of a civil war and a struggle between different religious groups. This has led to hundreds of thousands of deaths and millions of refugees. In Myanmar, the military government is fighting against ethnic minorities. This has led to terrible human rights abuses. These are just a few examples of how religion and culture can lead to conflict. It's a very sensitive and complicated issue. And lastly, 5. Revenge and fear. Have you ever heard the saying, an eye for an eye? Well, this saying is often used to describe this reason why countries go to war. Sometimes countries go to war because they want revenge. They may want to take revenge for a wrong that was done to them in the past. This is called the security dilemma. Each country wants to make sure it's safe from attack. But when one country gets stronger, other countries feel less safe. This leads to a cycle of mistrust and fear. Each country keeps getting stronger to protect itself, which makes other countries feel less safe. Before you know it, you have a big conflict on your hands. The arms race between countries is a good example of this. Each country wants to have the strongest military it can. But when one country gets stronger, other countries feel threatened. This leads to more countries wanting to build up their militaries. This can lead to dangerous situations where countries feel like they have to strike first before they get attacked. This is what happened in 1914 when Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. This conflict quickly turned into a full-blown war. So there you have it, 5 reasons why countries go to war. What do you think? Did I miss any reasons? Let me know in the comments below. Remember, wars are never simple. Usually a mix of these reasons. Thanks for watching. See you next time.